Once upon a time, in a small Nebraska town, a boy named Richard Bruce Cheney was born. He wasn't loud or flashy, just a quiet kid who liked to read, to think, and to argue about the world. No one could have guessed that one day, that same boy would grow up to become one of the most powerful men in American politics. Cheney's path began in the wide-open state of Wyoming, where he studied politics and government. He climbed step by step, from a young aide in Washington to a congressman to the Secretary of Defense during the First Gulf War. And then, years later, he rose again, this time as Vice President of the United States under George W. Bush. When the world changed on September 11, 2001, Cheney was deep inside the White House, guiding the nation through chaos. He became a symbol of strength to some and of cold calculation to others. He pushed for wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, convinced that security must come first, even if the choices were hard. Those decisions defined an era, and they also defined him. To his supporters, Cheney was the man who did what had to be done, no matter the cost. To his critics, he was the face of unchecked power and endless war. But everyone agreed on one thing: he never was afraid to take responsibility for his beliefs. In his later years, Cheney faced long battles with his own heart. Literally, he survived multiple heart attacks and even received a heart transplant, defying death again and again. Still, he remained active in politics, speaking out, writing, and mentoring the next generation. And then, today, November 4th, 2025, the world paused once more. News broke that Dick Cheney had passed away at the age of 84 after complications from illness. His family remembered him as a man of discipline, faith, and fierce loyalty, a father, grandfather, and lifelong public servant. Across the country, reactions poured in, some mournful, some reflective, and many mixed, because Dick Cheney's story was never simple. It was a story about power, duty, controversy, and the cost of conviction. As night falls, history adds his name to its long scroll, a man who shaped wars, policies, and presidencies, and whose shadow will stretch across American memory for generations to come. And so the story ends. The rise, the rule, and the reckoning of Dick Cheney, a man who changed the world, for better or worse, in ways that can never be forgotten.